TIFU by telling my boss about a board game night gone kinky. Boss, 62F straight, and I, 40M gay, were friends years before the pandemic hit, at which point I found myself laid off and she needed extra help. So I've been working for her for almost 2 years now. Yesterday she asked about my new haircut and how my Friday off had been. And I confided in some humorous but personal and explicit details that I would not have shared with any of my previous bosses. And she saw me avoid the question until the shop was empty except for us. She's no prude. Back in the 70s she was doing coke and attending the same parties as Elton John and Donna Summer. I've seen the photos from smoky discos as proof. An hour later the shop was full with boss's husband dropping by to visit, another new coworker I don't know well, and a couple regular customers who are not so liberal when she tells everyone, "Oh, look at Decapod's new haircut." Decapod went to a board game night at a kinky couple's place and ended up letting them strip him naked, tie him to a chair, and cut his hair. I'd have guessed Decapod to be more dominant than being the one tied up. But now we know. Her husband saw me looking embarrassed, surprised, said, "Well, if we're all oversharing, here's your boss," last week, and handed me his phone with pictures of her in Warrior 2 yoga pose completely naked. Jesus Christ, violating her privacy too doesn't make anything better. It just makes everything more embarrassing. So, now I've seen my boss naked. Everyone knows way too much of my own personal business. And work on Monday will be awkward. My boss knows I saw the yoga pictures. But I didn't let the others in the shop see it. TLDR. I admitted to a once-off kinky night in my typically vanilla life to my boss. She told anyone who would listen. Then her husband shared naked pictures of said boss with me, which only makes things more awkward. They tied you to a kitchen chair, they broke your throne, they cut your hair? Tell your boss you didn't mean to see the picture her husband shared and you consider it a violation of her privacy. If you want to say something about her sharing your story, that creates a perfect segue into that, too. For what it's worth, I suspect she shared the story because it made her happy. She is old enough that most people in her life probably don't think of her as having a wild side. You telling her about your adventure acknowledges her as someone who would not likely be bothered, and can even appreciate that side of life. I don't say that to excuse what she did, but it is nice that you could have that rapport, and it would be great if you can restore it. Sounds like your boss and her husband have gotten up to their own kinky board nights before and may be leading you into an invitation. Husband's looking for a threesome. So's the boss. Don't worry. They are probably swingers and they love the idea you have kinky fun. I'd be more worried they want to swing with you. Sounds like a place I want to work. I also love this story because I overshare with bosses and it always goes sideways somehow. Been an executive assistant for decades. Sharing from a subordinate role to the executive role needs to be vanilla. It will always come back to bite if you share truly personal, confidential issues or events with your boss. Not worth it. May not apply to you. So if I am being presumptuous, I apologize. I'm writing from my business experience in my youth.
!GIF.
Pretty sure everyone else in this story foo except for you. What is this, kinky office fanfic? My lord. I'm gonna get downvoted for saying this. But I think the boss's husband did the right thing. Now you're both even and can start over fresh Monday morning. Doesn't everyone get naked for a haircut? Type of people assume anything told to them can be shared. You need to specify, do not tell anyone this when telling them things you don't want them to broadcast. If you're friends with her, just ask her out for a coffee because this happened and you're not comfortable with your life being made so public. It's an awkward situation by every stretch of the imagination. But if you're good friends, I'm sure you can talk it out. Samson? Next time, have stories prepared, satisfy curiosity and match interest. But avoid personal deliberations. Oh, I just gathered some friends and we watched random movies. I got scheduled haircut by a friend who is hairdresser. And we watched some yoga-based movie. Your boss is an asshole. Sounds like everybody won. I don't see the problem. Ha ha ha.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.